the AC. Hot takes.
Lights, camera, and action is large. Eagles get flattened the door to this debate why I hate and get irate. We rate and irritate. Your game is on my plate. The fans anticipate. Of course, we give them great.
Gonna turn up the AC, got the temperature raising. The latest, hottest takes, no bias for ratings. We coming with straight heat, that's why it's amazing. Go ahead and share the link if you feeling what they think.
Pulling daggers like Katie, launching missiles like Brady. Hot takes on the daily. Outcome is amazing.
Only kick with the IC, analytics unlikely. No matter what they speak, hot takes turn up AC. What a fight we just had over the weekend between Mikey Garcia and Jesse Vargas. This fight really was entertaining. It was competitive. I'm very pleased with what I've seen from both guys. Both fighters really showed out. They put on a great show. Yeah, man, let's get right into this. We're going to talk about the scorecards a little bit later, but first I just want to talk about the fight. Well, Mikey got the unanimous decision, but it did not come easy. Jesse Vargas looked extremely sharp early on. He looked like he was on his way to cruise to a unanimous decision. Through the first 4 rounds, he was dominating the fight. Some had him winning all 4 rounds. I had it 3-1 in favor of Jesse Vargas after 4 rounds. I gave the third to Mikey. I could understand definitely how someone gave that round to Vargas because he was on his stuff. You know what I mean? He looked sharp. He looked strong. He was tagging Mikey from the jump with jabs. He was hitting him all angles. He was tagging him a lot with that left hook early on. Mikey showed that he can take some shots because he was taking some shots early and often. The work rate wasn't even close. Vargas was outworking Garcia. Now the landing was pretty close, for punches landed, but Vargas was, in terms of work rate, he was dominating the early rounds. Up until that fifth round when he got caught with the 1-2 and he got hit in his ear/neck area. We've seen this happen many times in boxing. Recently, just a couple weeks ago, we saw Deontay Wilder get hit on the side of the head like that, and he never recovered, and he lost his belt because of it. Vargas obviously was on wobbled legs, but he was able to hold on, and survive and get back into the fight. Some could say he actually got back into the fight enough where it was a draw, but it was a very close fight. So, but I give all the credit in the world to Mikey for getting the win and weathering the storm early. I give all the credit to Jesse Vargas for taking the shots, getting dropped in the fifth round, and coming back and getting back into the fight. Uh, Mikey looked strong too. Like his jab looked really good. His jab looked like it was a strong, solid jab every time he was connecting. He obviously the fight changed in the fifth round when Mikey caught that 1-2 and stumbled Vargas and ultimately dropped him in that round, getting a 10-8 round. The sixth round I gave to Mikey as well. The seventh round I gave to Mikey again. Seventh and I think the fifth round was a 2-point round for Mikey. I gave him the sixth, seventh, and eighth. And then going into the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th rounds, I think those are very, very interesting. I could definitely agree with somebody saying Vargas took 2, maybe even 3 of those rounds from the 9th through the 12th. You know what I mean? So it was a very close fight. I had to score 115 to 112, but 114, 113, as the first judge had it, I completely agree that it very well could have been the scorecard too. A draw other than the knockdown. But I had it 115, 112. I think the right guy won, based on what I saw from the fight. Vargas did his thing, man. He has nothing to be ashamed about. Mikey just proved that he is worthy of being in the welterweight division by beating a solid guy like Vargas. Now, personally, I would rather see Mikey fight at 140. Maybe even work his way back down to 135. But I don't know how he'd be able to make that weight anymore since he's been welterweight now for a year. Because he fought Spence. What was it, last March 16th, I believe it was, of 2019, and then he just fought fought again, obviously over the weekend at 147. So he's been carrying on that extra weight now for a year now, and Do I think he's ready for like the top guys yet? I don't personally because I still want to see him, grow into his frame a little bit more at 147. I mean, because look at guys like Danny Garcia. He was solid at 140, but when he got moved up to 147, it took him a little while to grow into his frame, and fill out for 147. And it happens, it happens with time. So, yeah. But Mikey's really trying to get back in there with the top guy, so it's gonna be interesting to see. He wants the Errol Spence rematch, potentially a Manny Garcia, excuse me, Manny Pacquiao fight. And personally, I don't want to see the Spence rematch, not yet at least. I want to see him fight another, top contenders and win those fights before he gets another shot at Spence. Because Spence, to me, is the class of the division. And then the top three, to me, are Spence, Pacquiao, Crawford. I don't care what order you put them in. Those are the top three in the division. Mikey even mentioned Crawford's name. That would be a potential fight, too, if it presents itself. That could be a very interesting fight. I would like to see the Manny and Mikey fight because Manny Pacquiao isn't a true welterweight. Like, let's be honest, his weight, I believe, truly is like at 140. You know what I mean? That's where he was his most dominant, I believe. Because once he moved up to welterweight, he didn't get knockouts. You know what I mean? So the knockouts went away when he moved up to 147. But so that's why I think him and Pacquiao would be a good fight because Mikey isn't a true welterweight yet. You know what I mean? And Manny Pacquiao, his true weight is, like I said, I believe is 140. So I think that'd be a good fight. I think Manny would still win the fight by unanimous decision just because his work rate is a lot more than what Mikey Garcia puts out. And I think over the course of 12 rounds, that's going to be very, very important. Mikey's going to have to put Pacquiao on the ground once to really have a shot in this fight because, like I said, I think the work rate for Manny is just going to be too much for Mikey. But before we get to that point, I just want to recap the fight that he had with Jesse Vargas. Mikey looked good. He improved his record to 40-1. Obviously, that one loss was to Errol Spence. Jesse Vargas falls to 29-3-2. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes from this because Vargas has skills. If Vargas is a talented fighter, I think he's good, not great. But I think he's a really good fighter. He's been around the top 10 of the division in welterweights, I think for some time now. He's obviously not the top 5, top 6, but I think tail end of the top 10, you got to mention him. You got to mention guys like Jesse Vargas. So it's going to be interesting to see what Mikey does after this. He talks about he wants the best fights, the biggest fights. So we'll see. What do you guys want to see, man? Do you want to see him fight Spence again? I know a lot of people don't. Do you want to see him fight Crawford? Do you think he has a shot against Crawford? That's a good question. I mean, I know they fought in the amateurs, and there's conflicting stories of what really happened in that fight, but I think that'd be another good fight to see. It would be definitely a fight Crawford should be willing to take because putting a guy like Mikey on his resume is only going to make it stronger. You know what I mean? What do you think about Pacquiao versus Mikey? That potentially could come up next too. So it's going to be interesting to see where Mikey goes from here. But I'm looking forward to it. We got a lot of potential, very entertaining fights that are in our near future at the welterweight division. So I just wanted to draw my thoughts on this Mikey versus Jesse Vargas fight. Let you know what I thought about it. I thought Mikey looked pretty good. Not great, but good enough to, come back and fight at 147 again. It's going to be interesting to see, though, if he really is able to pull off the Pacquiao fight or not, because I know Pacquiao was talking about coming back somewhere around April, May, you know what I mean? So unless Pacquiao is willing to wait till the summer, Mikey ain't the next fighter for him. Potentially could be Danny Garcia versus Pacquiao, which is another fight that I'm ready to see. I would love to see that one. But yeah, man, I just want to draw my thoughts, comments on Mikey versus Jesse Vargas. I thought it was a very entertaining fight. Oh, real quick before we go, I wanted to talk about the scorecards a little bit. 116, 111, 8 rounds of 4 is kind of wide. I thought that was a little wide on the scores. 115, 112, 114, 113 I thought were more appropriate. Yeah, man, we got to do something about judging in boxing because, granted, the right fighter won, but It wasn't as wide as the scorecards indicated, and I think true boxing fans who actually watched it and break the fight down and score it as well can agree. It was a lot closer than the scorecards indicate, but I think the right guy won. So yeah. Until next time, this has been Reason. Turn up the AC hot takes. Go ahead and comment, hate, debate, whatever you want to do. We appreciate it all. Until next time, we're out.